So I've seen a few comments about people wanting to get the EP2 for their first cars. Want something reliable, fun, and inexpensive. The EP2 is all of that, but there are a couple of things you need to look out for. When I went to get this EP2, my EP2, I knew all these things going in, but when I went to look at the car, I looked at a few EP2s before I picked this one, and I looked at all those things for those EP2s, but for some reason I overlooked those things for this particular car. I don't know why I did that, but I did anyway, and it did cost me a lot of money, but in my opinion it was worth it because I did get that exhaust system, but yeah, anyway, number one thing that you look out for when looking at EP2 is the gearbox, more specifically the thrust bearing. Yeah, they are notorious on these things. They go bad around 60,000 miles. If it hasn't been replaced around 60,000 miles, you can still drive it. It will become very noisy. The gearbox will be very noisy, and it won't really affect the performance anyway. But in my case, when I got the car, it was around 99,000 miles, and it did have the thrust bearing issue, but it was still driving just fine. But over time, it became really bad, like really bad. So bad to the point that I had to replace it, and when I took it into the garage and I had a look at it, it turns out it wasn't just the thrust bearing that was the issue, it was the whole gearbox. The whole gearbox was gone. I needed to get a replacement, a reconditioned replacement, and that was not cheap. It cost me north of £500 to get it. First I had to get a gearbox, then I had to get someone to fit the gearbox, and the labor cost plus the gearbox itself was just, it was expensive, but yeah, I had to get it done. So first thing you should look out for when getting EP2 is the gearbox. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. If the EP2 you're looking at has a very noisy gearbox, basically what you should look out for is when you get the EP2, you start it, put it in neutral, start it, put your foot on the clutch. If a sound sort of goes away, then you have it's like it's hard to explain. It's like a grinding sound. I don't know the best way to describe it, but you know when it's gone. You know when the sound is gone. When you start the engine, it will sound like part of the sound the engine makes. You put your foot on the clutch, you depress the clutch fully, the sound will disappear. That's how you know. And when you lift off the clutch, the sound will come back again. So that's how you know you have a thrust bearing issue. So either walk away from that or use that to negotiate, perhaps reducing the price. Next thing to look out for is just basically stuff to look out for when buying any other car. Really, check your tires, check your indicators, check all the bulbs, check the brakes. If the car has been sitting for a while, the brakes would have rusted. Now, depending on how long the car has been sitting, and I didn't realize this at the time, but when I went to look at my car, the brake discs were a bit rusty. And then I asked the guy how long the car had been sitting, and he said he only drove it the other day. Now, I don't know why I took his word for it, because the brakes were actually really bad, like completely rusted. And one of my calipers, the left front caliper, was actually seized because the car had been sitting for a very long time. So if the car has been sitting for a while, you might want to think about walking away from that. And telltale signs of that will be rusty brakes. So if you take it for a test drive, just make sure that the brakes work fine. But then again, that being said, mine had completely ruined discs up front and a seized left left caliper on the left side, and the braking was just fine. The braking felt just fine. So a test drive might not reveal much about the brakes, but just look at it, visually inspect it. If it's rusty, take it for a test drive. When you get back, inspect the brakes again. If the rust hasn't cleared properly on one side or on all sides, you might want to think of walking away or using that to negotiate the price as well, because the calipers might have seized up, which means you might need to get a new caliper if your mechanic cannot free the seized caliper. So that's one more thing to look at. There aren't really many known issues per se with these EP2s, so basically just those are the major things. And then just look for plain wheel, excessive vibrations from the engine, and if if you can, go with someone, right, and have them start, or let the owner start the engine and look at the engine, at the movement of the engine when it's started. If there's too much play in the engine, that means your engine mounts are gone. You might want to walk away from that, because that's going to be expensive. Yeah, check the air conditioning. I did not check my air conditioning. Turns out my air conditioning didn't work. Now, it might just need to be regassed, but the thing, in my experience, it's not just a regas. There's always more than that. In my car, I had to replace the condenser, I had to replace the receiver dryer, and a piece of pipe which connects the condenser to the receiver dryer, and it cost me £60 from Honda to get a piece of pipe. Ridiculous, right? And then I had to get the labor and then pay for regassing as well, so it got expensive to fix my air conditioning. So if the air conditioner isn't working, you might want to think about more than just regassing it. It might cost you more than just a regas. And my girlfriend got her car just the other day. The air conditioner wasn't working. We thought it would be a regassing thing. She got herself an FN1, which is a newer Civic Type S. Went to a quick fit to have a regas. Turns out it has a gas in it. The gas is full. It's fully gassed. So yeah, we don't know what the problem is. We're gonna take it into a Honda dealership for them to look into it. So basically, it is never just a regas. It's always going to cost you more than a regas. So if the air conditioning doesn't work, if the air conditioning is important to you, walk away or use that in your bargaining. What else? Oh yeah, look around the interior. I did not do this. Right? I did not notice that my driver's side sun visor and the lens covering my interior light was missing for about 2 days after I got the car. Which is a bit ridiculous, I know, but I only noticed that when I came to clean the car, they cleaned the interior. Then I realized there were pieces of the interior missing. So yeah, look around the car to make sure everything is actually where it's supposed to be and everything is actually there. So yeah, don't do what I did. What else is there? Make sure there are no lights on the dash. I did not do this. Or rather, I did do it, but I just didn't notice that one of the lights didn't go out. The airbag light did not go out. Turns out the SRS module was gone, so I had to replace that again. Not cheap. So yeah, make sure all the lights are out on the dash. Also, one of the Civics I was going to look at, I gave the guy a call, and we're going to meet up to you know, look at the car and whatnot, and I decided to do a HPI check on the car. Turns out the car was stolen. So I think the most important thing you do before even going to look at a car is, one, do a HPI check. I think it's worth every penny. Do a HPI check to make sure you're not buying something that's stolen or has outstanding finance or some BS like that, right? If the number is not shown in the pictures on the website you're looking at, Auto Trader or whatever, right, ask the owner to send you the number, the registration number, and run a check on it. It is important, very important, you run a check on it to make sure you're not buying a stolen car. So yeah, that was it. Basically, because I did add the HPI check, which was fine. The car came out clean. It also tells you if, depending on the app you use, it will tell you if it's past MOT, what it failed on its MOT, any advisories and stuff like that, and that will help you when you're looking at a car to know what you're looking into and the condition of the car, and also how to negotiate with the owner of the car. What else? I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all the advice I can give. Basically, everything else is as normal. Look at the service history. Make sure you've got the logbooks, all that stuff. Right, the car's been well maintained, and all the maintenance, all the services that have been done have been recorded, stamps, all that basic stuff. You know. But then again, when you look at a car around this age, around this price, maybe you shouldn't get your hopes up for like a perfect service history and stuff like that, because those tend to be like more expensive and whatnot. But just make sure like that the car is like well maintained and stuff like that. Regular oil changes, regular air filters, spark plug, all the basic stuff, just well maintained. So yeah, I did not I overlooked a few things, because when I took the car for a test drive, the engine sound, the exhaust sounded so good that I just basically overlooked everything else. I was willing to pay to get everything else sorted out, just so I could have this custom exhaust, and I think it was worth every penny. but I have spent quite a lot on it. You might not want to spend quite that much on your car, so just look out for those things and don't let your emotions cloud your judgment. Listen to your brain and not your heart when it comes to these cars. But sometimes you might want to listen to your heart, but when it comes to like things that will get really expensive very quickly, listen to your brain and not your heart. Unless you have money to burn, and then well, I guess you can burn some money. But if you do not have money to burn, and I did not have money to burn, but you know, you learn from your mistakes. But overall, the cars turned out quite nicely. Everything else is in good condition. Oh, the headlights. Watch out for HID conversions. Mine had the HID conversion kit on it, and it decided to stop working when I went in for my MOT. Yeah, couldn't have picked the worst time to stop working. So I had to convert it back to the stock setup, which meant I had to get a new wiring harness for it, and then pay someone to put it back, splice it back in, and return it back to factory, because we could not for the life of us find the fault in the wiring, because the wiring was such a mess. So if it has a HID conversion kit, I would proceed with caution. Right, proceed with caution with the HID conversion kit. I've got LED conversions, but those are pretty much plug and play. You don't have to cut any wires or splice into anything or any of that BS. So if it's got LED conversions, that's fine. HIDs, I would be cautious. I'll be cautious with HID conversions. Yeah, what else was that? Oh, I had to get my thermostat changed and my battery changed, but there's no real way of testing those or knowing that. So I guess there's not much you can do about that. I guess you find out after you've bought it, really, with those ones. Yeah, just check the interior, check the handbrake, check the tail lights. Yeah, just check everything, really. Just basic stuff. But the main thing to check for on these EP2s are the thrust bearings, the gearbox. Make sure you check those, because that will, if it hasn't been done yet, that will cost you a lot to get done. A lot. Unless you want to drive around with the car sounding broken and then eventually breaking. But yeah, basically if you buy an EP2 and the thrust bearing has not been done, you're basically sitting on a time bomb, and you will eventually have to do it, and it will cost you a lot.